Hello, Kimera Hashiv, and Jew is Misha Joseph and an Alaba, Fàilte Gaelic Le Joseph. Hi everyone, it's Joseph in Scotland. Welcome, Fàilte. Today we're going to talk about all things related to Thanksgiving. Now, the first thing I want to tell you is about Thanksgiving Day. Thanksgiving Day is Là Taingealachd, with a G sound at the end. Taingealachd. Okay, welcome to Thanksgiving Day. Fàilte Là Taingealachd. That might be quite useful. If you're wondering about Fàilte, well, I used that at the start of my podcast. I said Fàilte Gaelic Le Joseph. Welcome to Gaelic with Joseph. Fàilte. If you want to be more ceremonial and grand about it, you could talk about welcome be upon you, which is the traditional ceremonial Gaelic way of doing it. So if you have many people, the way you would do that is Fàilte oirbh Là Taingealachd. If it's just one person, you can use you singular. Fàilte oirbh Là Taingealachd. Now let me just explain a bit more about this. So in the same way as you have Kimera How, which is how are you informally, Kimera Hashiv is how are you all, but it's also the formal way you say how are you. Remember, Gaelic has this thing, which some European languages have as well, that you use the plural as the highest form of respect. I'm sure you knew about this. It's very similar to the royal we, if you knew what that is or was. When I was growing up, the royal we, you could ask someone, so how are we today? It was a very polite way of addressing people. You don't hear much of that now, but in Gaelic, it's existed. I'm not convinced many people use it these days, but anyway, Fàilte oirbh Là Taingealachd is a way of saying welcome be upon you Thanksgiving Day. So welcome be upon you to the Thanksgiving Day. So welcome to Thanksgiving Day. For one person, more informally but still ceremonially, Fàilte oirbh Là Taingealachd. But the easiest and most informal and shortest way simply is to say Fàilte welcome to, rather than say welcome be on you. Là Taingealachd. Là, of course, is day. Là Taingealachd, sona dhut, and some people say dhucht, is how you say Happy Thanksgiving Day. If you can get your tongue around that, Là Taingealachd, sona dhut, or dhucht, Happy Thanksgiving Day. A few of you have written to me, thank you for that, and have asked for a Gaelic food blessing. To be honest with you, if you're very religious, I don't recommend you use a Gaelic food blessing because it'll take away your concentration when you're actually trying to say a prayer, which isn't very nice. But I would recommend that you use the Selkirk Grace. That's something else, which is very Scottish. It's not Gaelic, but it's an old Scots. And it makes perfect sense. You can see it here on the screen. It's called the Selkirk Grace, and it comes from Robert Burns, the famous Scottish poet. He wasn't a Gaelic speaker, but he did read and write in Old Scots, which is not related to Gaelic at all. It says here, some hae meat and canna eat, and some would eat that want it. But we hae meat and we can eat, and so the Lord be thanked. And that means some have meat and cannot eat, and some would eat that want it. But we have meat and we can eat. and so the Lord be thanked. So that makes much more sense. Even to say it in English makes sense. The some have meat and cannot eat. So I'd recommend that you learn this one if you want to say it in Scottish. Some ha meat and canna eat, and some would eat that want it. But we ha meat and we can eat, and so the Lord be thanked. Or you could just play my voice. I'll do your Thanksgiving for you. Just have your phone nearby and press play at this point, and you can hear me say it. Right, so I recommend you use the Selkirk Grace. The Gaelic food grace would take too long for you to learn and would destroy your concentration. You'd end up reading it, and that wouldn't really be much of a prayer, would it? So there we are. The Selkirk Grace is much more popular, especially with food. It's what they use on Burns Night on the 25th of January. And you can always just use the English. Some have meat and cannot eat, and some would eat that want it. But we have meat and we can eat, and so the Lord be thanked. Yeah, much more beautiful, I think. All right, then, that's it from me. Have a lovely day. Julie Andrasta.